Hello and welcome everyone to Huawei's FusionSolar Smart PV webinar sessions for the year 2021. My name is James Lee and I'm the Solution Director for Huawei Malaysia. And to kick things off for this year, we'd like to introduce to you our residential smart PV solution. I will be introducing to you an array of products and solutions that will be at your disposal for this year in designing your residential installations. Also, to highlight certain key items that I'll be presenting or sharing today would be that our solution provides optimal electricity costs or optimization of electricity costs, and something very close to my heart, which is active safety and a better overall experience for both the homeowner as well as the installer. To introduce you to this residential smart PV solution, I will start with our single-phase inverter, which ranges between 2 to 6 kilowatt, followed by the three-phase inverter, which is between 3 to 10 kilowatt. And then, of course, our latest in our introduction that was done back in December, which is the Smart String Energy Storage System, known as the Luna 2000, and a unique feature that is enabled through the backup box, which I'll elaborate in further detail later, followed by the Smart PV Optimizer, which is compatible with both poly and monocrystalline panels, and of course the greater flexibility of communications for monitoring via our smart dongle. We have two options, which is the smart dongle wireless local area network and fast Ethernet, and the smart dongle 4G. And then followed by the smart power sensor, if you do need to have on consumption with a zero export, or rather a zero export to the grid, the smart power sensor therefore will be able to satisfy that requirement for both single and three phases, of course. And then last but not least, the monitoring portal via our app or the cloud management system known as FusionSolar. That will give you the capability of viewing the installation and progress and also the performance of your system at the comfort of your phone or your home or office. So to tie all that I've introduced you, we have this simple diagram above for residential homes less than 10 kilowatt AC, of course, which starts with the optimizer, full optimizer. So all the panels will be installed with this full optimizer, which then will feed back information to our smart energy center, also known as the inverter. And why do we call it a smart energy center? Simply because right now we've got so many different products or so many different solutions and systems that are being tied into the inverter. And therefore, it is aptly called the smart energy center, whereby the smart energy, or rather the smart string energy storage system is also tied to it, followed by our smart power sensor and the capability of beaming all of this information to our FusionSolar cloud management system. To kick off the optimal electricity costs definition of how we bring this closer to reality is with the introduction of the Luna 2000 energy storage system. You have the capability of generating electricity during the day and to also provide electricity via the storage at night. So therefore, it gives you a maximized PV power self-consumption because as we know, residential homes generally have a very low load profile during the day. And when everyone's at home, that's when your energy consumption increases. So this gives you that capability to be able to optimize your electricity costs simply because you are therefore using the energy that is being generated from your system at the time when you need it. Of course, if you have a net energy metering system, then this may not be so applicable, but nonetheless, again, depending on the policies of each country, this solution definitely will be able to future-proof whatever policy changes that may occur in the coming years after your installation. Later, I'll talk, of course, in terms of active safety and better experience from our system. So I would like to highlight to you certain things about our optimizer and why the optimizer is important, especially in the residential scenario. As shown from this picture here, you can see that the roof itself of the home could be a potential shading factor. And this shading factor, of course, is a permanent shading factor, which will occur throughout the day, moving from left to right, or however, depending on the facing of your system. Furthermore, with this, you also have different azimuth because of the different pitch on the roof. And then the tilt angles of each roof may differ as well. And we're not even talking about natural items like the trees that may be around the house that could cause shading factors as well, and also the adjacent buildings that may cast a shadow from time to time. So with this, without an optimizer, as you can see from the diagram on the left, say for example, one panel is shaded, the entire string therefore is aggregated and reduced in terms of its power output capability. But with the optimizer, you are able to segregate each individual panel as a independent operating or independent producing panel. So therefore, wherever shading that occurs, all the other panels are independent of the affected panel. And to prove this, we did a comparison case of the energy yields that are evident and pronounced by the use of our optimizers. So we did a side-by-side application and analysis. Actually, this was done on our HQ rooftop. I've seen this exact roof replicated on the top of the factory. So this is the shaded modules, okay, and again they're multi-facing, yeah, as most houses would have different rooftops. And furthermore, you have the non-optimizer side by side with the optimizer panels. From this study, we have already found that the energy generated from the full optimizer solution has between 10 to 13% more energy per day than compared to the non-optimizer. And to make sure that we are providing a fair comparison, the PV modules are exactly the same, whereas and the inverters are the same. The only difference is the presence of the optimizer. With the optimizer comes another unique feature, which is the long and flexible string design. This long and flexible string design is very unique in the sense that you can have a maximum DC AC oversizing of the string, not the inverter yet, the string, of up to 200%. So in other words, as we know, for residential homes, generally it's usually two strings that are connected because as our inverter has two MPPTs, so therefore we usually try to segregate it on two strings for these two MPPTs to optimize it. But with the use of the optimizer, you can have this long string design, which will then which will reduce the number of string cables by 50%. And this actually increases the safety factor as well, because you have one less string cable as a point of failure. Yeah, so this also lends towards not only just higher yields, but also safer operation and maintenance. The comparison case, of course, with other solutions is that you may have a system which has two strings for the inverter, or you may need a second inverter with another string because of the multi-facing orientation of the rooftop. And here comes, in terms of optimal electricity costs, our smart string energy storage system. To introduce it, you can see that there are two main key components here. One is the power module, which will house the DC to DC converter, as well as the battery management system and communications capability to our smart energy center, followed by the battery module, which is built in with the energy optimizer. So this is a key factor here in terms of how we are able to optimize your electricity costs. And as this suggests, one battery module is 5 kilowatt hour, so you have a maximum of 15 kilowatt hour per power module. So what is this energy optimizer and why is it important? Because this gives you greater flexibility in terms of future expansion, also in terms of replacement of faulty or of already depleted batteries. To highlight this in greater detail, you can see the state of health is the capability, the maximum capability of the battery or the battery module to receive the maximum charge. So say, for example, if the state of health is at 100%, so your state of charge can go up to 100%. But as described from this other modular battery example here, if say, for example, one of the battery module has only a state of health of 60%, whilst the rest have 100% state of health, unfortunately, all of it will be subjected to the lowest performing battery, and therefore it will only charge up to 60%. Whereas for our energy optimizer solution that is built into our energy storage system. If the, say for example, in many years down the road, you want to install new batteries and the state of health of the current battery is only at 60%, you need not worry because each of these batteries are independent in terms of the state of health and the state of charge capabilities because of, or as a result of this energy optimizer. So this is very unique, and that's why it will be able to optimize your electricity cost because you are able to get the full benefit of every module that you add on in the future. And furthermore, in relation to our energy storage, it's only 50 kilograms per battery module, which is very easy for a two-person installation team to operate without the need of extra lifting tools or specialized lifting tools. Another unique feature is that our batteries have the capability of 100% depth of discharge. And what does this mean? That you can actually discharge the battery throughout the night or during your consumption or your load and in the home to 100%. So say, for example, this is a 15 kilowatt module, and so a kilowatt hour. So 15 kilowatt hours of energy can be generated or rather be fed back into the home for usage throughout the night, and it can then be recharged during the day. Whereas for other battery solutions, they may require 20% residual charge in order for it to ensure that they can recharge during the next day or the next cycle charge. Yeah. Furthermore, we have the capability of parallel operating of up to 2 storage systems. So you have the capability of expanding up to 30 kilowatt hour to meet the higher demand or usage, load usage in your home. So this in itself gives you that capability of optimizing your electricity costs further. Next, our inverter or our smart energy center has also the capability to provide 2 times the power. And what does this mean? Basically, if this is a 5 kilowatt inverter, it is able to provide 5 kilowatt AC output to the home, as well as to provide 5 kilowatt charge to the battery. To further illustrate this, we have other PV and storage solution on the left, and then our solution on the right. So with other solutions, if say, for example, you have a 10 kilowatt peak installation of panels on top, the generation to the home is only 5 kilowatt, which is the capacity of the maximum capacity of the inverter, but it will only be able to provide half of that for the energy storage charging. So you lose out on that additional half of the capacity, which is 2.5 kilowatt for the charging of the battery. So you're wasting, and there's a lot of wastage in terms of the installation cost here. Whereas in our solution, with the full optimizer solution, so this is again a complete package, you would have 5 kilowatt AC output and 5 kilowatt charge to the battery for your future, your later use at night. Therefore, giving you such a great flexibility and ensuring that your base load is taken care of during the day as well. Next, we're going to highlight about active safety, which has always been a very close topic to me, simply because I am a great believer of safety first. Yeah, and why is safety a big concern when you talk about PV systems? Because DC arcing is a very dangerous occurrence. Okay, arcing basically is that spark that you see in the event there's a severance in the connectors cable. Yeah, and where do these arc sources generally come from or commonly are found in a PV system? It is at the module level due to unreliable soldered joints, broken PV cables, or loosened PV connectors, notwithstanding potential installation errors that may occur due to human error, of course. But what is the harm from this? Actually, this arc can reach up to temperatures of over 3,000 degrees Celsius. And at that temperature, it is no wonder that fire can quickly ignite from that instance. There are also challenges that are involved with this. That's why the technology is important in terms of the capability of that technology, because arc noise actually accounts for only 0.1% of the signal that is generated from current in a normal current. Right? So therefore, it's very difficult to identify, to detect, and often leads to missing the detection altogether in the instance of an arc. This is further exacerbated by the fact that the inverter and the grid interference signals will also overlay on this normal current signal that leads to faulty detection or misdetection. How is it that our AFCI differs? Is because we have AI-powered active arcing protection. And AI, as it denotes, is artificial intelligence, and we call ours AI Boost. So what happens is that our energy center keeps self-learning new arc features and to accurately protect the system in the event of a fault under very complex noise interruptions, like I mentioned earlier. So what this does is that it has a self-learning arc feature, and then when upon detection, it will therefore identify the arc, the waveform of that arc, and to compare it with again the existing database that has already been compiled over the many years that we've been doing this research and development, to provide therefore a speedy arc fault interruption, and to also provide a pinpointing of that location. So if you have the full optimizer solution, it can actually pinpoint at which part of which level of module or panel. And if you do not have the optimizer, at least it will identify to you the string that is in question. Yeah. Again, that would reduce your workload by 50% at the string level, because again, we are assuming 2 strings per inverter. So 1 string is all you need to concern yourself with. And to always solidify our claims, we will always verify this. And the current standard as it stands is the IEC 63027. We have already gone ahead preemptively to get our test reports done. We have a couple more models that are undergoing this testing to get the test report completed. Unfortunately, the certification will only be provided once IEC has publicly published this standard. At the present moment, it is in its cooling period before it can be published. Some comparison based on this table that I'd like to highlight to you in terms of the difference between the standard and what we can achieve, as we always try to exceed the requirements. As you can see here, the adaptable maximum arc current, we can do it for all voltage range. So it's not only just a specific stipulated range. Our shutdown time is half a second, which is significantly faster than what is required by the IEC standard. And time is always of the essence, because the longer the arc persists, the higher the chances of a fire breaking out. Again, and that is shown by the arc energy, that we are able to do it at a lower arc energy. The accuracy, of course, is 100% as per required. But the other part is that we don't just say that there is a problem, we actually pinpoint to you where the location is to enable you to quickly rectify or to address the situation in a timely manner, to then ensure that your system is back up and running safely, and to give you that optimal cost savings from your electricity. Furthermore, we also have a consideration for firefighters, and that's why our full optimizer solution provides that additional safety, because it gives you the module level shutdown, right? So in the event that a firefighter has to conduct some work or operate on your rooftop, they will be able to be protected because the shutdown is occurring at the module or the panel level. Whereas if there is no optimizer, the strings itself is open circuit, which therefore the firefighter could act as a conductor as they touch or they get in contact with these panels. So that's why we will really talk about safety in a very meaningful manner, because we really want to ensure we think of all the possibilities that may occur that would expose people to these risks. So this pinpointing, as I mentioned earlier, if you have the optimizer, you can actually pinpoint up to even the module level, assuming that the fault is occurring at the module level. So you can see from here the app, and it accurately identifies it, because we have a mapping system which enables you to then identify the panel with ease. Note also that the inverter has tripped, it's off, and it is in a fault status, which will give you that alarm to then trigger you to view where exactly it is. So it will reduce time wasted in terms of troubleshooting, and gives you a lot of cost savings that way, as well as to give you a higher availability of the system. Next, we'll also talk about the safety of our latest product, which is the energy storage system. So we always believe in ensuring that that at every layer there is a protection. So at the battery cell level, we use the material lithium iron phosphate because of the safe and stable performance characteristics of this particular um, material. And of course, at the battery module level and energy storage system, we have 8 sensors per pack to supervise operating status of the battery. So with this, if you use the full complete 3-pack, you have 24 sensors that is at your disposal to give you that full rigorous protection that enables auto isolation and touch-free capability. If compared, or as compared to other solutions that may give you only 3 sensors per pack or a maximum of 16 sensors. So, and this is the reason why we are able to then be compliant to the most rigorous safety standard, which is the VDE 2510. Next, I'd like to share with you the additional feature that this backup box enables the system to operate within, which is during a power outage. Yeah, and the purpose of this is not to power up your whole home again, and to just run it as normal, but more importantly is to ensure that it provides electricity to your critical load. Say, for example, your fridge or your freezer, because again, you do not want the food to go bad. Of course, you can identify a few other critical loads in that manner. Maybe some lighting, emergency lighting, and so on and so forth. So therefore, it at least enables you to weather or to ride out that power outage in a more comfortable manner. Okay, so last but not least is the better experience that we strive to provide to you. Because of the fact that everything is provided under one roof, which is Huawei, the auto detection of all system devices is much streamlined and a lot simpler. Within anywhere between 1 to 3 minutes, with a click of a button on the app, away you go, everything is identified and everything is therefore registered into the app. Whereas for other solutions, due to compatibility perhaps, or the inability for the communications between all the peripheral products, it could take anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes or more, again, depending on the level of complexity and the installation. Yeah. Furthermore, we also look in terms of reliability. As you know, we are a telco company, so we do share a lot of experiences from them. And this is exemplified by the design of the heatsink. As you can see, we did a very in-depth analysis of the heat generation of all the components within our inverter to come up with this specific design to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency of the heatsink to dissipate the heat, thus protecting the inverter from overheating as well as to ensure its optimal operation. And also, we do not believe in adding additional non-crucial items such as fuses, LCD, and buttons, simply because these are all high failure rate items and another point of failure. This is therefore proven by the fact that TUV has verified that we have a very low failure rate and a very high availability due to these features and design considerations. And we also provide flexible communication and power control for all types of scenarios. Scenarios in terms of what is existing at site. Maybe there may not be very good internet coverage through the local internet service providers. So the wireless local area network or fast Ethernet dongle may not be a good solution. No worries, we also have a 4G dongle that allows you to get the SIM card from a carrier that has a very good connectivity in the area to provide you that connection to the monitoring system. Yeah. So and also last but not least is that our monitoring system gives you a very good visible power flow module level monitoring if you have the full optimizer solution installed. And last but not least, to give you all the nice statistics and figures to see on a daily basis how your system is performing. So with that, I believe that with Huawei, we always want to try to give you a one-size-fits-all solution so that you do not have to have a lot of headache or a lot of problems along the way, because these are meant for long-term, these installations. Yeah. So we have easier selection because again, everything is all provided by Huawei. So integration is is made easier. Management will be, of course, easier because of that, because of the compatibility. You do not need to worry about ensuring that the setup has been done properly or accurately due to the different providers of the technology. And then easier support because you just need to come to one manufacturer or one supplier, which is Huawei. Easy commissioning as illustrated from the app, so because again, we have a very well synergistic communications capability of all our products to ensure that the commissioning is done very quickly. Operating it, of course, is also therefore achieved because of all of the above. And then last but not least, easier service because it is just one point of reference that you need to worry or go to. So in summary, to tie up everything that I've shared with you today, we hope that our residential solution will be able to provide and maximize all of these 9 items, from optimizing your energy yield to giving you energy optimizing through or with our energy storage, all the way to inverter touch-free via the design, and of course all the other in-betweens, because we always want to ensure that you have the maximum utility gain from our products and solutions. In comparison to other solutions may have issues because they do not have the capability or they do not look into all aspects in terms of its totality. Yeah, so these are all the innovative features or solutions that we hope to provide to you to give you that flexibility in designing and installing using our solution. So I do thank you for your time. I hope that this sharing session has been both meaningful, beneficial, and useful for your consideration of all your projects, residential projects for this year. I thank you once again. Do stay safe, keep healthy, and I will pass the time back for further questions and answers.